What's up, y'all? It is your girl, Sarah from Sarah Styles here. I am going to show you what sold for me in April, things that are working during the pandemic, things that I am going to be changing in inventory I'm going to be sourcing in the future to make it through these times. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome back. If you are new here, I am a reseller, which means that I purchase items and flip them on eBay, Poshmark, and other various sites. I mainly do thrift store finds, but during this pandemic, I am sourcing from other places right now. I also do data analytics. My YouTube channel and my Instagram are dedicated to data analytics for the reseller. Strategies that I am talking about, videos that I do, all are based off of data-driven strategies, looking at the data to see what works, not just anecdotal, this is what works for me. I sprinkle that in as well, but I really try to focus on the data. What is the data saying? And so that being said, that's what today's video is about. I'm going to show you my what sold data, what sold for me, my top brands, my top categories, and then get into the actual items that sold. So if you like content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe, hit the little notifications so you get notified of my new video. I also focus on this channel about learning from each other. I think there's a lot of knowledge in the reselling community. So I do like to do lives and have chats and conversations so that we can all learn from each other. We all have different experiences and different backgrounds, so we can all bring that expertise together and learn and grow together and support each other. So if you're interested, I'm going to show you two of the dashboards. I sell two of the dashboards that I'm going to show you today. And then I have a third one, lots of videos on it on my channel, but two of them I am showing you today. They are all for sale on Etsy, so head on over to that shop. If you are interested in the dashboards that I am showing you, it's putting your data in and all of the charts populate so that you can look at this information for yourself as well. I am working on building up my eBay store, so I would greatly appreciate if you could head on over to my eBay store and follow. Even if you're not buying anything, just doing a quick follow helps gain traction. If you have an eBay store as well, definitely leave your eBay link down below and I will follow you over there as well. If you're strictly on Poshmark, drop your closet down below too, so I can follow and give you some share love over there. So today's video, I'm talking about what sold. I, previous to this, released my more financial video. How did I do? What was happening in April? So definitely check for that. High level, I will show you how April went. Just a quick peek into it, but if you want a deeper dive, definitely watch that video. Strategies that worked for me in April, things that I'm changing moving forward during this pandemic to try and continue to get the revenue that I want and stay afloat during this time. So strategies that I'm doing over there. And then today's video, so I'll do a quick overview of that so you kind of know where I'm at for April. And then I will dive into what actually sold, top brands, top categories, sizes, all of the inventory type data, and then show you actual items that sold at the end of the video. So let's dig into the data. All right, so this is the newest dashboard that I just put out. The nice thing about this dashboard is it is good for all of the platforms that you sell on. You enter in your data. It comes with an import file and you enter in your data on all of the platforms that you sell on. You can go up to 30 different platforms in here to look at how you are doing. The other two dashboards that I sell are mainly Poshmark driven. This is everything. This is my performance for the past 28 days compared to the 28 days before. What is very inspirational, motivating for me is all of these numbers are positive and green, which means that I am doing better this 28 days to the previous. So essentially my April was better than my March, which is good news during this time, during the pandemic. Things are kind of recovering for me, or strategies that I've put into place are working. So definitely make sure to head on over to that other video if you want to see more detail on the numbers, the strategies that I'm working, how I'm increasing things and getting there, what these numbers mean. But this is where I'm at. Gross revenue is up. I'm listing a lot more items. My average sale price is up as well. And then my inventory, I'm going to note what my top categories were for April 2020. Shoes, this is total gross revenue, shoes, bags, dresses, jeans, shorts. I mean, you can read these. And then this is my days on hand. Something I'm going to note with my top categories, So keep in mind, this is eBay and Poshmark. I'll get into just a Poshmark one in a minute. So this is everything. Something to know in this chart, I want my stuff up here. This means I have a high sell-through rate and a high average sale price. Those would be like my quote unquote BOLO brands. But having, you know, a high average sale price down here for dresses, but my sell-through rate is low. So that's something that I want to look into. Part of that, I think, is I have a lot of wedding and prom dresses. I did really well with those type of dresses last year. However, right now we're in a pandemic, so proms and weddings are being canceled. So I think that is why my sell-through rate here is down. However, my average sale price for them is higher. So I'm okay keeping those until things recover. Bags, my average sale price is good. 10% is lower. Reasons that my sell-through rate are low. I go into this in more detail in my other video, but my average sale price is lower in April, and this is for a couple of reasons. 1, it's a pandemic. 2, we were moving. 3, I'm a mom of 3 and children are home now, homeschooling. 4, I was cranking out listings. So I think I listed over 200 items in April, which is a lot for me. I'm usually closer to 100. So I almost doubled how many listings I did. And it takes time for those things to sell. There's usually like a 30 to 60 day lag until you'll start noticing the effects of you doing a lot of listings. So it kind of was skewing my sell-through rate because I, put in 200 listings that I'm not necessarily expecting to sell. So I think my average or my sell-through rates are a little bit higher than that had I not, kind of skewed the data that way. So that's inspiring to me that bags are still selling and my average sale price on bags are $64. So I am going to continue to pick up bags. I'll show you the actual bags that sold. I enjoy bags. I enjoy listing them. Taking photographs are really easy. Typically finding the style I find is a lot easier, especially like on Coach. A lot of bags have like creed numbers. So I like bags. Other ones that are over here. So like I said, dresses, something that's higher. Shorts is a higher sell-through rate. The higher average sale price is there. Yes, sweetheart.
Look at it. I added 3 little chickens together.
It's so cute. Okay, but I'm
a baby and a mom.
Very cute. I'm working on a video though, okay? Shorts, this is something new that I added to my closet. I got inventory from my cousin, had closed down a boutique. Oh, sorry. Mom life. Shorts. So this is something new that I have introduced into my closet. I typically don't buy shorts. Average sale price is lower. So it's not been worth my time in the past. However, I purchased about 550 new attack items. My cousin had a boutique last year. She closed down. We figured it out. She had some inventory, about 500 items left over from her, it was kind of just hanging out in her house from her boutique. So I purchased them for a low cost of goods, and it was just kind of take what you can get. And there were shorts in there. So the shorts and it's a great time of year for shorts to be selling. They are new with tags. So they are selling higher at this $35 average sale price. 16% sell-through rate is pretty good. And then a 60-day turnaround on average days on hand. However, I'm hoping that that's going to go down I listed a whole bunch of them in the past 2 weeks. So I'm hoping a lot of those sell in the next month or two and keep that high average sale price. Top brands, we're looking at Vintage, Michael Kors, Marc Jacobs. This is kind of just a high level off of my gross revenue for both platforms. I'm actually going to jump into my Poshmark inventory report because that goes a little bit more detail into Poshmark, which is my main source of revenue right now. I sell a lot more on Poshmark than I do on eBay. And something I really want to look at is, so there's a couple things. High average sale price. However, I am introducing lower average sale price items into my closet right now to get sales pumping, increase my sell-through rate, and kind of just get some turnover. We're in a recession. People are still spending on e-commerce, but they're not spending nearly as much. So I want to also have those items available. So I'm going to come down here. This now we're looking at is strictly Poshmark data. This is one of the other dashboards that I sell for Poshmark. Copy and paste your reports in here and this data populates. But what brands sell fast. So if you're going to be doing quick flip items, lower average sale price items, you want them to sell quickly. And so these are brands, especially right now, sourcing online, that I want to keep an eye out for because they sell quickly. I'm going to note this Lane Bryant was a relist, and so is this 9 & Company, so those don't count because those actually were just relisted. But things that sold quickly, Patagonia, if you're familiar with Patagonia, you know that's usually a good seller. Machine and Q2, these are both jeans. I'm not familiar with jeans. I'm trying out jeans because I was given jeans, not given, but like I purchased jeans in this lot that I purchased. And Machine and Q2, I'd never heard of those brands, but they are seeming to sell pretty quickly. Again, the average sale price is lower. And you will notice, so look, these average sale price, this Patagonia, oh, this was a bundle I sold for, so that's not true. This was a bundle that I sold, just stuff that I was getting rid of for another reseller. So I sold it for $5 and I just labeled it. There was something Patagonia in it. But if you're new to reselling, Patagonia is a good brand. It usually sells quickly. But you'll notice these average sale prices, with the exception of this Dear John, are lower. So having a quick days on hand, it's selling quickly, you typically have lower average sale price. Where if you come up here and you look at my higher average sale price items, right? So Michael Kors, my average days on hand is roughly 3 months. So having higher average sale price items tend to sit a little bit longer. Neither one is better than the other, but it's good to know so that you can know your strategy. If you're going to be a high average sale price item seller, you need to be okay with things sitting a little bit longer, waiting for that perfect person to come spend $73 on an item, right? But these are my top brands. So kind of what I'm going to be doing and what I've been messing with a little bit is continuing to keep my high average sale price items. However, I'm going to be introducing more of these quick flip type of things to continue to have capital and get things moving, as I don't think that people aren't buying these higher price items as much as they were in the past. They're still happening for me, but not at the volume that it was before. So I'm going to do a little bit of that for the brands. So those are my top brands. I'll show you those actual items for that when they sold. These are my categories for... This is a little bit more of a micro data that I like to look at. So the dashboard that is for all platforms were those 2 charts that I showed you, top 20 brands, and gives you some metrics here. This is Poshmark specific data, but it goes a little bit deeper into the data at a micro level. So I like to look at, and this is why I look at all of them. I like to look at this as well. So these are my categories. My total sold by category 17. Shoes are still selling. My average sale price for shoes is still up there. My average sale price for bags is up there and 8. So that's my top selling. So I like selling shoes and bags the most. They are also my most sold type of category. And my average sale price, I like that average sale price. So I'm going to continue to do shoes and bags. However, so my next one is jackets and coats. I mean, it's April now. I'll be on the lookout for those for the fall, but I'm not necessarily going to be sourcing that right now. Jeans, like I said, I introduced jeans. I don't have a lot of jeans in my inventory until recently, so selling 5 of them is pretty good, and it's around that $20 lower average sale price. So I'm thinking these are going to sell quicker, about a month and a half. I'm hoping that this is going to go down a little bit with all of the new jeans that I sold, or that I just flooded into my closet and store. Pants as well. I don't sell a lot of pants. That's around 60 days, so 2 months, and I only sold 1. So I'm going to keep an eye on pants. But something that I am going to do as more of these lower average sale price items, look into jeans, learn jeans, figure out what's going on there. Sell-through rates, my average sell-through rate for Poshmark is 8%. And a couple reasons that this is so low. One, I was not on Poshmark as much because life is happened this past month, no reasons that I noted earlier, but also I listed 200 items. Those items I'm not expecting to sell right away. And so it kind of skews the data when you do like a mass listing that's different than normal. I normally list between 50 and 100. So that's easily double the amount that I normally list. So that's going to kind of suppress my sell-through rate until that becomes my new normal and that starts selling. Stay tuned, follow me, hit that notification to see what happens next month. In theory, the more that I list, the more that I'm going to sell. So hopefully that starts to be the case in May going into June, but we are in a pandemic right now. So I'm kind of testing the waters and see what's going to happen there. I do want to, so in here you can look at your micro data even more. You can look at sizes, subcategories, and then markets. I typically sell women's, dabble in men's a little bit, but mostly women's. But if you do different markets, you can look at that. I'm going to look at jeans because I'm not as familiar with jeans, but you can look at, these are all of the categories that I sold. If you're interested in different things, you can look at that. Jeans. Most of these, it makes sense that they're on hand and haven't sold. Again, in the past 2 weeks, I listed like 100 pairs of jeans. So that makes sense that they haven't necessarily sold yet, but what things are selling? 100% sell-through rate for size 12, 22, 44. I think those are men's. The 44, I'm pretty sure is a men's. That's, like a men's sizing. 32, but these higher, I have better luck in all of my inventory with like medium, and large. And this is why it's important to look at your data, because just because they're selling well for me, it doesn't mean that you aren't selling other things. I have a lot of people that use the data analytics and they kill it in the, extra large into, other sizes. And then I have other people, so this is where it really depends on you and what works for you and why the data is so important to look at. But this is helpful for me if I'm going to continue to source jeans in the future, to look at these sizes and see what sizes work well. Like I said, I'll probably look at this again in May and see what jeans sizes we're selling then. Again, I want to look at subcategories for jeans. Like I said, if you want to look at other things that you're interested in, you can come in here and look as well. I'll probably look at dresses too and see what's selling. I think because I have a lot of prom and wedding dresses, things are being canceled. So that's why my sell-through rate there is low. But things that are selling for jeans, overalls, straight, boot cut. Boot cut is surprising because it was out for a while, but I think that it's coming back in. So that's interesting. Ankle and cropped and straight. So those are things that are selling for me, but I'm going to keep an eye on this in the next couple months as I put new jeans into my store and kind of keep an eye on that. Let's look at dresses really quick and see. So Maxi, my sell-through rates are low here, 6%, 20%. These are things I have on hand that haven't sold, like I said, wedding and prom. So I have sold a couple of those on eBay. So that's why it's good to diversify. But that's interesting, to look at this and see. I'm not going to stop that strategy. I think as things recover, I had a lot of prom and wedding sales last year. So I'm not necessarily going to stop that strategy, but now I know why that's down where it is. And then again, I'm just going to show you this for the purpose of seeing it, but you can look at different departments that you sell on. However, I am mostly women's and I know that, so I'm not going to look at that. So that is that. But now let's look at, so let me tell you a little bit about the strategy, what works for me, what I'm going to do in the future, and then I'll show you the actual items that sold. So based off of my data, introducing some of these lower average sale price items, taking the risk on jeans and shorts that I wouldn't normally do. So far, it seems to be paying off. They're selling quickly. Let's hope that all of them start selling. But even in 2 weeks, having a couple sales for those is very encouraging to me. I'm going to still keep doing shoes and bags. While they're higher average sale price items, people are still buying them. I might be a little bit more cognizant of how much I spend and which ones that I'm buying, but I'm still going to continue to do that. And then I will introduce some more lower average sale price items, specifically jeans, probably shorts for the next month. into my closet. Sourcing wise, I have about 500, I'm down to about 400 items that I have left to source. So once I'm about done to half of that, I'll start thinking about new sourcing items. Our thrift stores around here have had talks of opening up limited hours, wearing a mask, one way, only so many people in, different kinds of regulations. So that is in talks and might actually happen. So that could, that would be, it would open up a different source of inventory. I may or may not feel comfortable going back depending on how it is. But then I can start thinking about do I want to do a wholesale license or liquidation or sourcing online, all of that stuff. But I probably have 2 or 3 weeks of my inventory left before I decide what I'm going to do. Here, let's look at items that actually sold. So this is Poshmark. Oh, wait. Oh, this is Poshmark. It opened in a different thing. This is Poshmark. I'm going to go through, I feel like I just keep rambling, but people have told me in the past that they like when I go through all of the items that I sold and tell a little backstory about it. So leave a note down below if you like to see all of these items. It is kind of fun to look at the actual items too, though. See what's selling, and especially now that we can't be out thrifting, live vicariously through what's selling. So this Loft Boyfriend Long Cardigan, I actually got it from my sister. Normally I wouldn't list it, but I think I listed it because I had absolutely no inventory and no time to source, and it sold. Loft sells, and it usually sells, depending on what it is, $10 to $20. So if you are, a quick flipper and it's in a nice newer style, a nice quality, good, why can't condition? I can't think of it. It's a good condition. That would be worth it. UGG, these actually sold lower than I was anticipating when I purchased them. I bought them at a thrift store, probably $10, possibly $15 I spent on them. UGG is a good seller for me, a higher item. I was expecting closer to $80 or $90 for them. However, we were moving. It's a pandemic. Someone offers me $65. I'm taking it. Michael, I got these at $1 a day at one of our thrift stores around here. They sat for almost a year. But lesson learned. I probably would not pick these up again. Unless, for the, $20, if I'm going towards lower average sale price items, I probably would. They sat for a year, but I also had another pair that only sat for 30 days. So I don't know why people didn't want that one. Franco Sarto, their stuff kind of, it's hit or miss. The boots I find sell pretty well. $42 for Franco Sarto I find is pretty good. I think those were a bins find. I'm not so good at remembering all this. I'll tell you what I think I remember. Michael Kors purse. This was a thrift store find. It was more worn than some of my other things. I just closed it. So getting $70 for this, I was pretty happy with because it was a little bit more worn. Had it been in really excellent condition, probably could have gone closer to 100. Danskos. In the past, you've heard me say I don't sell Danskos. I've since changed that because I find them fairly often at thrift stores. And if I find them at the bins in decent condition, I will pick them up because they do sell. End of the story. No matter how ugly I think they do sell. I've heard they're really comfortable. Nurses, teachers, hairdressers like them. Vintage, this long puffer jacket. I'm actually kind of sad that it sold for so low. It was so cool. But, during this month, and I did a video on this recently, I mostly took every offer. That tends to be my strategy in general because the market is what people are offering. And sometimes people lowball and then I'll go back. And the strategy that I'm trying, if someone is really lowballing, I will send them a message and say, hey, as a small business, that's not really something that I can accept, but maybe I can meet you in between. I hope that you'll support my small business. And that seems to be helping a little bit. But most of the time, especially when I'm not doing a lot, I wasn't on Poshmark a lot. Every offer that I got was hooray, yeah, I'll take $24. So I was hoping for more than that, but I took it. These vintage Levi jeans, this number, so if you're new to Poshmark, when something sells in a bundle, the price that is marked as sold is what it was listed at, not what it actually sold at. So these jeans and these tennis shoes were sold as a bundle, and I'm pretty sure it was not for very much. Maybe $40 or $50 for the entire bundle, which would make each item $20 to $25. And if you look at the original price, that's not great. But again, I was taking things, and these tennis shoes were actually kind of tore up, and most of the comps were like $10. So, I mean, it was actually okay. Nicole Miller jeans, I found these at the bins. Like I said in the past, I'm not great at jeans. This is typically what I pick up and they sell for and they sit for a while. I'm going to try and learn jeans better and figure out the styles and brands that work. So if you sell a lot of jeans, drop those notes down below. Share with me in the community what works for you. This is a free item. I don't expect to sell it at all, but it sold for $10. Like I said, I took it. These OTBT, they typically sell pretty quickly, but these were pretty tore up, so they only sold for $15. This Ralph Lauren orange tote purse was gorgeous. Oh my God, it was so gorgeous. I saw it. It was at a thrift store. I saw it from across the way. And I looked at it and I said, that is a nice purse. I had no idea what brand it was, but you could just tell the quality was nice and it was in fantastic condition. There weren't a lot of comps on it. It's like $300 new. So I was hoping closer to like $75. But you know, someone offered me $41, and the life that I lived in April was to take what I could. This Michael Kors Hamilton bag, I've sold. This is my third one, and they all sell for over $100. This was one of the smaller ones, and it was I'm pretty sure it was a buy it now. It was either a buy it now or a really reasonable offer. I was very excited for that $121 sale. This Fossil, I think I got that. Most of my purses I find at thrift stores. It's hard to find purses at bins. However, this Fossil I found at the bins. And it was actually, you can tell when people like put their stuff back, right? Like it's on the corner, typically towards the front of the store. And it's like just all piled in. And someone had actually put this back. It was in one of those piles. And it was in great, I actually considered keeping it for myself. It was like that wicker type fabric. It was a good size. It had the crossbody. I was really surprised someone put it back, and it was Fossil, sold for $36 from the bins. These UGG, I sold 2 pairs of UGG slippers. I am thoroughly surprised that these sold for $45. And this is what, so I said in my offer to like video that I typically accept most offers because it kind of balances out, right? So like for this purse, I was expecting $75. For easy math, I'm going to say $71. That's $30. Difference in what I was expecting, and I took it. However, these UGG slippers, they were not in great condition. A lot of the comps on these slippers were like $20, but someone bought it now for $45. So I actually made $25 more than I was expecting on these slippers, and $30 less here. So I was really almost net neutral, give or take a couple bucks. So I think it kind of all, flattens out. You lose a little bit more than you thought you would on a sale, but then you make more than you thought you would on a sale. Like if someone had offered me $10 on this, I wouldn't have taken that. But, a little bit less than what I would have, especially if sales are not like coming in. If you give a sale, it kind of gets the algorithm going, wakes up your store. So that's my strategy right now. And I did a video on it if you want to listen to my whole spiel. But vintage Oshkosh, comps on these were like $70 to $80. They're like adult Oshkosh overalls, amazing. However, this pair, someone had done quite a bit of self-altering to, like taking the straps and like cut them and then like like they were not great. So while I would have loved that $70 to $90, when someone offered the $40, I was like, that's probably more reasonable for the condition. Wrangler, I cut these off. These were short. These were pants, but they were like, I think they had oil stains on them maybe. So I custom did that. I have an IGTV video on how to do it. It's really easy with stuff that you have at home. Ariat boots sell. They don't always sell, for $100, but they definitely sell for that $30 to $50 price range, depending on what style they are. These Cole Haan, this customer, I just love her, especially after I had a return this month. And sometimes it gets kind of feisty, right? So in the midst of all that, this lady, she accepted it and she sent me a DM and she was like, I'm pretty sure these were men's size 10 because they don't fit me. However, my someone she knew, they fit and they loved them. So she was actually really happy with them, even though they didn't fit her. And so it kind of brought a smile to my face that, you know, it wasn't a big complaint, even though, and I told her I was so sorry, like that was totally my mistake, and offered her a discount on her next purchase, but she was totally happy with it. So these Coach Vintage purse, I was pretty excited for that $50 price range. Coach Vintage goes between $50 and $100 depending on the style. So $50, I was happy with. That's a lie. Some vintage Coach can go, you know, $20 or $30. Depends on the style. Lane Bryant, I tried my hand at plus size, and maybe I'll learn it eventually. You know, I was like, oh, I know Lane Bryant's a plus size. Let me find it. I had this blazer forever and sold it for $10. This blazer as well, both of these I got at $1 day. So I wasn't like, I didn't lose money, but after you take fees out, you know, this is like $4. Converse, I picked these up because they were at the bins. And I had been looking for a pair of Converse for myself, and I thought they were really cute. However, I'm a size 8. I'm learning in Converse because they didn't fit me. So I was like, fine, I'll sell them. But they did have a little bit of like staining and stuff, which for me, I didn't care. But to sell them, you know, that $15. It's so funny. So this pair of UGG slippers sold for $24. This is what I was expecting for this pair of UGG slippers. These sold for $45. This sold for $24. And these ones were actually in better shape. So, I mean, that is the life of a reseller. It's not like Target where you go and like that's the price. Like it's kind of what people want to pay and what you're willing to take and what your margins are and figuring out all of that. This jacket, I really considered keeping for myself. It was really comfortable, but I didn't need it. It was something I bought like a year and a half ago, and I think it took so long to sell because it was so hard to photograph. It is a deep pink, but every photo that I took of it, it looked red. And so I had so many people that would ask me, are you sure it's pink? And then they wouldn't buy it, or are you sure it's not red? So I think that was, and I'm much more conscious about what I pick up to photograph. I find stuff in white often, and I don't buy it because it doesn't photograph well, unless it's a wedding dress. It still doesn't photograph well, but it's a wedding dress. These slippers I found, I don't remember where I found, but they were new without tags. They had never been worn, and they still had like this strap on them. Sam Edelman, it's hit or miss for me. It does sell lower around that, you know, $15 to $25 mark, depending on what it is. These were new with tags, so I got them. These DKNY. Okay, can you ask your sister to help you, please? I don't know how to use it. These I found at the bins, and either they were like ridiculously ugly and no one wanted them, or they were ridiculously amazing. And I took the risk on a ridiculously amazing. They had like a 70s vintage feel to them, but they were from the 90s. And so I took the risk, and they sold for $28. So bin's fine. I was fine with that. This Banana Republic bag, it was such a nice bag.
I can't spell.
Okay, go.
The mouse thing.
Go ask your sister to help you. Comps on this were between $50 and $120. Like, that's a huge range. So I had it listed at like $100, hoping for that $120. But during this time of I wasn't working a lot and stuff, someone offered me $50. It was a really nice bag. I took it. Machine, I got 3 pairs of these, the Super Destroyed Machine jeans. This was a new brand to me. If you sell jeans or you know of this brand, let me know your thoughts. I got 3 pairs of them, and they all sold within 2 days of me listing them. So that's, to me, I mean, there's only 3 pairs, and my sample data is low. So if you know this brand or you sell this brand, let me know your thoughts down below. I'm considering looking into like wholesale on that brand, because that's quick. It's only $20, but that's a quick turnaround for $20 item. Topshop, these were so cute. I knew they would sell low. I got them at the bins, and I couldn't say no because they were so cute. Vintage pants, I got these at the bins. They took longer to sell than I thought, but they're men's, and I don't know men's as well, so maybe like I didn't use the right SEO words or something. This was actually in a I won from, if you know Violet507, I think is her name on Instagram. She's big in the Poshmark community, amazing. I did a listing challenge with her, and she sent me like an inventory surprise box. This was one of the things in there. This was set aside because I was going to keep it for myself, But then the pandemic hit and I was like, I have nothing to list. So I decided to list it. So it sold pretty quickly in 10 days, but only for $10. This my sister gave me. Typically in the past, I would not have sold something for $18. But again, this was something that I had no inventory. So I decided to list it. It's easy to list because I could hang it up and do, that kind of picture. Doc Martens, this actually sold to one of, she was a local posher, Amanda Cross. I've bought inventory from her before. She's absolutely amazing. I was getting ready to ship it out and I was like, I know that name. I didn't realize that it was her until I was shipping it out. So I told her thank you for her purchase. I really appreciate it. Coach Poppy, this purse, comps on this were between 40 and 60. They actually offered lower, and I know Coach pretty well, and I knew that I could probably get a little bit more for it, and I was willing to sit on it. However, she came back with I think I countered at like 50, and she came back at 40. And I don't think I'd had a sale that day, so I took it. Dear John shorts sold. I think this was a buy it now, possibly. Or a very reasonable offer for these shorts. I don't usually like to sell shorts because the average sale price is lower. However, they're really easy to list. So I'm going to start looking into those more. This I've had for over a year. I bought it at $1 a day because it is, so there's different levels of BCBG. Generation is like the more like trendier, younger crowd, sells a little bit lower. But it was so cute. However, it was a size 0, so it did sit for a while, but it was I think it was a buy it now maybe, or a reasonable price, but she was very excited to have it. These Uggs, I think I probably bought them at a thrift store, but I'm not sure. I think a thrift store. I didn't know that Uggs made sandals. They were really cute. I looked at them. I was like, oh, that's Uggs. How cute. So those sold for $50. Super excited for that. I think I had them listed at 60. So I was definitely great with that offer. Q2 button fly straight. This brand, I don't wear jeans. I don't know a lot of jean brands. So this was something that came from my cousin. It was like, you buy it all. I'm expecting most of those jeans to sell between $20 and $35, depending on the style and the brand. So it did sell for that $20. Let's quickly look at eBay. I'm not going to show you all of my eBay sales for the sake of time. My children are starting to pop in, and I know that's going to start happening more frequently, but I do want to show you some of my eBay. This sold recently, last day of the month. So I was excited these were a bins find. Chaps is not the most high-end brand, but they were cute. Summer's coming up, good condition. I found them at the bins. $20. Well, this is with shipping. Yeah, that's with shipping. So I think they sold like right around $20 plus shipping. So I was okay with that. Machine, again, like I said, these are those machine pants. These sold on eBay. All of this stuff that I got from my cousin is new with tags. Sold for $29. That does include shipping though. So this is a free shipping item. So I paid shipping out of that, which means that my profit is less than that. But that, like I said, $20 to $35 price range for these jeans is what I'm anticipating. This is one of the vintage wedding dresses that I sold. I do have quite a bit more. I love vintage wedding dresses so much. But this is one of the vintage wedding dresses that sold. I do have other ones. These were new with tags. New without box, yeah. So they still have the tag on the bottom. I found them at the bins. Like, you don't often find like such good condition items at the bins. So I was really excited when they sold for that price. They're really cute. Articles of Society. These are I got from my cousin. You can tell by the new with tags, jeans. I'm learning brands. This is a nicer brand because it sold for a little bit higher. I'm happy with that. The Moto style as well. And then this is the third pair of machine destroyed jeans that I sold. These sold for $29, but they paid the shipping. So I actually did get to keep all of that. I'm interested for those who sell multiple quantities of items. I am new to this. I get a little nervous to accept lower offers because I feel like if I accepted a $20 offer on this, can someone go to my stuff and see what I had sent? Like, see that I had accepted a lower offer, and then someone else is like, forever people are going to offer that lower price if I accept it. So let me know your thoughts down below. What you guys do if you sold multiple items as far as accepting things. This is a pair of those Dear John shorts, sold for that $39, sold for $45 on eBay or on Poshmark. So that, $40 to $45 range. Super easy to take pictures of, newest shorts. I have a lot more of these if you're looking for a pair of shorts. And if you guys like any of the things that I have, you definitely say you saw me on YouTube or on my Instagram. Let me know and I'll give you a discount. AG, I know that this one is a good brand. I found these at the bin, so I picked them up. They took a little bit longer to sell, but that $45, $46 I will take. Vintage. Are you noticing a trend on eBay? Vintage and jeans so far is what is really selling. Vintage, I had this for a while, but I knew it was absolutely amazing and it would sell to the right person. It is fitted, so it had to fit you like perfect. So I knew that it would sell to the right person. That was an international buyer, I think. A lot of my vintage goes to international buyers, which is why I like being on Etsy and eBay for vintage, because you have that exposure. These are Rachel Zoe. That's not true. I'm still learning eBay. For some reason, it's saying it sold for $129. That's not true. It sold for like $70, I think. So I don't know why it's showing that. I'm still learning eBay. But so these were listed for $121, and someone told me the comps were around $100, $80 to $100. Someone sent me an offer for a little bit lower, but I accepted it. They were in great condition. I found them at the bins. This is a Dooney and Burke. Yeah, see, this is not, I don't know what it is. This is what it was listed at. That's not what I paid for it, or what it sold for. I don't know how this works when you look at it in this view. So if you know eBay, let me know. That's not what it sold for. It sold for like $50. I was actually pretty disappointed because I think typically I've sold a bag similar to that for like $60, $70, I think. However, it's a recession. People aren't having a lot. I wasn't making tons of sales. So I took it. I don't know why it's doing that. Drop a note down below. Because this was a low offer. It was listed for $51. It sold for $25. I was really hoping for something higher. However, it was itty bitty. Super little. So I took what I could. I also think this was an international buyer as well. So vintage and jeans and purses is what sells for me on eBay right now. Vintage wedding dress, super cute. Found it at the bins. This I had on eBay or on Poshmark for over a year. I sold it in like hours of it being listed on eBay. So that is why diversifying is good. I am going to wrap it up because I can hear my kids. So that is what sold. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know how your April was. What strategies are you guys doing? What is working for you? Moving forward, I have this big haul behind me to list. So I have like 400 items still to list, but a lot of them are lower average sale price items, which I normally wouldn't pick up. However, with everything that's going on, I'm going to do those for the quick flip effect. And I think people are spending money on e-commerce, but not necessarily as much higher ticket items. And then I'm also hoping that it brings traffic to my higher ticket items as well. So that is my strategy for April. Let me know what you guys are doing, what you're noticing, what's happening. If you have any, if you know about those machine jeans, let me know, or jeans that you'd like to source, definitely let me know. I hope everyone has a wonderful day and is staying safe and sane in whatever capacity is best for you and your family. Have a good day.